Hello everybody, this video is about a brand new setup, SC Aquarium Model 50G. the aquarium comes with a sump, comes with tank, sump, pump, and pretty much all the hardware you're going to need to get it started. Of course, what you're looking at is things that I have added that the manufacturer didn't give, such as plumbing. I added a canister filter that I wasn't using. That's the x2215. It fits the sump perfect. The pump comes with it, but of course that x20 does not. Let's see. On the top, it's got a Weir, and the Weir is, I think it's like a 8x5, how big it is. A little different than what they show when they were selling it. It's got slits in it, but they're at the bottom. It now has 3 holes in it. It has 2 holes, one for your main pipe or your main drainage. The next one is for your emergency overflow, and then the third hole is for your input water. I changed it around a little bit. The manufacturer put the input in the center, and it was a 1-inch diameter. I changed it back to a 1/2-inch diameter, and then I added 2 other pipes to the left of it. The lighting system is the bright stick lighting system. That whole setup that you're looking at costs $50 or less with lights. So it's a cheap lighting system, but it works. I have another video that I explain all about the bright sticks and how to use them on aquariums. But you see, it's a pretty nice looking system. The cabinet is made out of MDF, which is medium density fiberboard. The top board is over 1 inch thick, so it's a pretty thick piece of MDF there. It has a veneer on it. It's black, but I think the veneer is kind of like a plastic veneer. It's not like wood, but it has a wood grain. It's not a bad cabinet, really, and it's not going to be a piece of Ethan Allen furniture, no, but it's decent, and it's made so if you get it wet, you're not going to ruin it. The manufacturer gives you I think the pump's a 500 gallon an hour pump, has a head of about 7.5 feet before shutoff, which is okay, but technically speaking, the pump's not pumping anywhere near 500 gallons an hour. By the time it comes with head pressure, all the tubing, it's more maybe like 300 gallons an hour. You lose about 200 gallons an hour. The manufacturer gives you adjustable outputs, and the manufacturer is more interested in velocity than they are volume. In this tank, I'm more interested in volume, therefore I did away with what the manufacturer gave you. This pre-filter here, I'm using the old Eheim, is dead silent. There's no noise, absolutely no noise. You could put this whole aquarium right in your bedroom. It wouldn't make any noise at all. It is so quiet. The ceramic rings, as you see, are the ones they give you with it. I used the filtering material they gave with it. I also am using carbon inside here. That's just the way I'm doing it. There's the pump. It's a decent pump. It's pretty quiet. I'm using a Tetra 200 watt heater in the sump. I still have to add CO2. As you see, I'm using green tubing, but that's all Eheim tubing, Eheim disconnects. Those disconnects got to be at least 15 years old, and they still work from Eheim. So, as you see, it's a very, very basic system. The back pipe is the emergency overflow. The front pipe is your front main pipe that basically is doing all the work. Now, I'm using it as a complete drain, as a complete siphon. So that's why it makes no noise. And in future videos I will explain how I did it. It's very easy. What you're looking at now is an under gravel filter. Now the under gravel filter, the plates are only used. The filter is not connected up to any air. The reason I use this in all my tanks is this is called a plenum system. Instead of taking your substrate and throwing it right on the bottom of your tank, which is absolutely wrong, you need to throw your substrate on something where it can breathe. In other words, there's a void underneath the substrate. All these little slots will allow water to move in and out of the substrate very, very slowly. And through tests that I have done, the oxygen level underneath that substrate is about 0.5 parts per million. And that's very low, but it will not allow anaerobic bacteria to grow in it. A different kind of bacteria will grow in this. It is called heterotrophic anaerobic facultative bacteria. Now this bacteria can live in very low oxygen, and it does quite a lot of work. It can steal its oxygen from nitrates. It can steal its oxygen from phosphates, and therefore that's what you want. This tank broke in about 2 weeks. I've only had it about 2 weeks, and as you see through the tests, I have 0 nitrates, 0 nitrites, 0 ammonia. I do have hard water, and the pH is 6.8 using, of course, I'm using CO2, so that's bringing the pH down a little bit. But to have a tank break in within 2 weeks, there's nothing new about it. What I did is I took the E-Heim, set it all up, and then I had an old filter, sponge filter from another tank. I just pulled it out and actually squeezed it inside of that green canister that doesn't have the lid on it. And that seeded the whole tank, actually. And I think that's the reason it broke in so quickly within 2 weeks' time, where I'm not getting any ammonia, nitrates, or nitrites. Also, the nitrates are going to be 0 because of the fact I'm using a plenum. And I see a lot of people on YouTube, they're using sand. Sand's not good. You got to use a substrate that will attract the positive ions out of the water, and you got to use the correct size. Sand will just turn around and give you lots of problems, and I'll explain that in future videos. I would not use sand. This substrate, I was going to use clay because that would be the best, but it's winter time. I couldn't clean the clay and everything, so I just bought a substrate, which I will explain what it is in the future, and I'll see how that's working out. But so far it seems to be working just fine. The tank, this is the tank after just 2 weeks, and already it has invertebrates in it, and it has about 5 fish in it. Zebra dinos, they're in it. Other than that, there's really not too many fish in the whole thing. There's a few loaches, pandas. It's doing quite well, and as you see, I'm injecting CO2 in it, and it's already pearling. The plants are pearling from the lights, and this is just from the bright lights. That's all I'm using is 2 bright lights. Like I said, less than $50 for the whole lighting system, which is pretty cheap. You don't have to go out and buy expensive $500 lights, $150 lights. Look at the pearling of the plants. This tells you everything. Each bright stick is 100 watts, and right now, with the cap off, which I've explained in a video already before this one, they put out about 5,000 lux. Each light does. So you're putting out quite a lot of light, and 2's enough for a 24 by 24 tank. If this was twice as big, you would need at least 4 lights. But as you can see, the Amazon swords in the back, they're all purling. Everything's doing fine, and this is just after 2 weeks, where you really can't complain about the whole thing being broken in so fast. So I will have future videos. I will explain everything of what I did, how I did it. I think if you're thinking about buying this tank, it's a good tank. It's worth the money. It was cheaper than any tank I could buy at a aquatic fish store. It was just a very good deal, and for freshwater use or saltwater use, it's a good buy. I would highly recommend it. So if you're looking for an aquarium, the SC Aquarium Model 50G, it came in on a semi. It weighed 280 pounds, so of course it has to come on a semi. It can't come by UPS or FedEx. It's got to come by a semi at 280 pounds. It's on a pallet. It was very well packed. There was nothing broke. Like I said, they do give you everything, but I changed it from what the manufacturer gave you because it's more, what they give you is more for beginners. And I guess if you just don't know what to do, then you could use what they give you. But through this video, I'll walk people through exactly what I did. As you saw, the plumbing's very simple. The tank is dead quiet. When I mean dead quiet, it's as quiet as if you were to buy the best canister filter out there and you were using it and not using a sump. And it was very easy to get quiet. I see a lot of videos where people are having problems with not getting these things quiet. They're having adjustment valves, everything. I will explain to you how you're supposed to do it and how easy it is. And once you get it, it will be set for life. And you don't have any adjustment valves or anything like that, and more expense to keep this tank running and quiet. So until my next video, I hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you very much.